Yo, what is good, guys? As usual, an interesting day in the markets, but today was a little different. Everything we've been looking at went exactly as expected on a day-to-day basis, and it's all lining up for that big drop that's coming very soon. And I'm going to show you how I know that drop is coming soon, when that breakout's going to happen, what the levels are, and everything, and what to expect. So watch this whole video through. You're going to see the value in it, and just watch the first few minutes. So and you'll see the value I'm talking about. So with all that being said, we're just gonna hop right into it. Make sure to show the video some love, give it a like and subscribe, and we're just gonna get right into it. So to start off, we're gonna work our way from left to right. Bitcoin, went over this the past few days. Very likely in a rising wedge, which is a bearish reversal pattern. You got those divergences, and it's continuing its move down. It seems pretty much right now, actually. Oil, this is the big one. We're down here, and I said this is probably a falling wedge, and you're getting that reversal, and I didn't think it was going to break down. The odds are incredibly low, and now you're getting up to that trend line. So I think once we really see some reactions off of that trend line, a pullback, and some strength showing that it wants to break out, we'll look at those higher levels. But so far, if you're in the Discord, we're watching those oil tickers, and we started looking at it around 32 to around 35, maybe a little higher now, or lower, but depending on what happened today. But I haven't looked at it since the morning, but anyways, the point is it's moving up. So the dollar, you got that spike I was looking for. Go watch my last video. Everything is going exactly as expected. So Apple, nothing really new. Got a big gap here, and I saw this trend line. Maybe a huge bull flag. You come down here, you break out of it going into 2023, 2024. But yeah, I think this may, this all has to do with that big retrace. So this is just something interesting I found. But you might be coming back to that trend line, and you do have a gap down here. So we'll see how that goes. But Tesla, big zone of illiquidity. We've been watching this for a few days, and this chart looks horrible. Daily MACD's going through, daily RSI went through its moving average, got rejected on a test. This is on the daily too. So sell signal, it looks terrible to me, and it couldn't get through this. So there's that chance of a cup and handle. I mean, that pattern's there, but I don't think it can happen. It doesn't make sense to me. But if it does, it'd probably go over 1,000, hit that trend line. But odds are against it. But we'll see how it goes. So you got a big gap down here, under 800 probably. Well, we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, once you start getting that move down, we can start talking about those lower targets. So biotech, one as expected as well, moved lower. This is the one I said guaranteed returns, because Elliott wave gave me the count, had all the rules in place for it to literally be a guaranteed top here with that gigantic supply zone and a really important resistance, which it got rejected at. It was pretty overextended. So that's been going as expected, and on to SPY. So I got a lot of things to show you on SPY right now. Today, if you're in the Discord on the intraday basis, I was looking for that trendline test, and this has a lot to do with the breakouts that are coming. So I was looking for this trendline test, which we didn't test it here, but we did today, and I said we're probably going to move through this, test it. That's what happened today. So I'm just going to replay it so you can really see how it played out. So I believe it was right around 2. So this is your area of illiquidity. There's no volume being traded in this area. You can see that, and I'm just going to play it and explain it as it goes. This was a really important test, which you're going to see has to do with that Fibonacci channel we've been looking at a lot. This is your point of control where the most amount of volume is being traded during the day. And yeah, we're just going to watch this. So test it, gets its breakout, and you move into this this next triangle. You broke that as well. And this is, or actually, I don't think it's that trend line that was that important. It's this one right here. Yeah, this one. So this is a really important one. This is forming a triangle. So I'm going to take this off. But point is, everything went as expected. I was looking for that top trend line test. You got close. That's where you got. And you got that breakout. So yeah, right here. You got that test and you broke out. And the higher levels that I think the incentive is to go a little higher would be this gap that didn't get filled on that FOMC minutes on, I think that was yesterday, right? Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So there's not much incentive to go up. This rejection had to do with the Elliott wave and the fib measurements, which you'll see very soon. But that's all for the intraday basis. This is a very interesting area. I think you could be in this triangle, which is an A, B, C, D, E. So A, B, C, D, E, and you get your rejection, and inevitably break to the downside. So that test right here, this bottom test, this is that channel we've been watching. This is the big line here, and you're getting very close. So we've been following this channel for a while now. We were looking for that rejection at the red line yesterday. From minutes, that's where we shorted, like pretty much at the top, like right around here. And that's that big trend line here, that bottom trend line. This is a massive test. That's what you got today. You bounced really hard. Just is pretty much just that last breath from the bulls here. You got that bounce, ran pretty well, but that's your incentive to go a little higher. Yeah, you might get there, you might not. But we're just gonna move on to. I think I want to start with the higher time frames to get that over with, because this video is mainly going to be focused on the 30-minute, because I really want to show you what I'm expecting for the next, I'd say 3 days or so, next 3 trading days. So we're going to go into the daily, we're going to take a look at the pivot points, and some other stuff with the ADX. I'm going to take this off for now, so I'm going to put up the pivot points. Right now you're sitting at R1. This is a pretty big area, and you're overextended, of course, so the ADX, we were looking at this yesterday. The positive DI went under it, so if you start to see this curl up, get over 20 at that red line, you could be in that confirmed trend on the daily, which is pretty nasty. We'll just see how this goes. We're just going to keep following every day. As for the MACD, somewhat getting rejected at that previous high from the COVID run, that insane short squeeze, and the RSI coming out of overbought. I don't know. It looks better on the 4 hour. You can see these signals much better. The 4 hour MACD crossing over, rejected at the previous area with a lot of tests, and the RSI went underneath that moving average. So really big things happening. That could start to come through 20, which is a big area, kind of signaling a complete turn in momentum. So we're just going to see how this goes. I think you're going to see something within the next few trading days, like maybe tomorrow even. And you'll see why and just where that's coming from. So it has nothing to do with like, oh, I think it's turning. It has to do with signals that are showing me tightening volatility. That's showing we're in consolidation, and that's going to end very soon. So the fib channel I showed you, the top trend line variation. So I showed you the pivot points. We're going to take a look at the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channel soon, but this is something I want to show you right now. So as you know, if you're in the markets, we have not hit this trend line. We are close to it, but we have not hit it yet. But I was looking at a possible variation of this with this top trend line to this trend line, and you have hit that. So maybe that's the trend line to be watching. I wouldn't really be surprised if we move up to hit this, just to get that touch point, as well as there's that tiny little gap right there. But we'll see how that goes. So that's it for the daily, I believe. We're on that big trend line. So also, actually, no, we're not done. This is the trend line I think we're going to be testing soon. That's the big trend line to hold. If it doesn't hold, you got a ways down to go. So that's it for the daily now. The 4 hour I showed you. I think it's time to move on to the 30-minute. I just want to make sure I showed you everything on the bigger time frames. So yeah, we're going to head into the 30-minute. So I got some big stuff to show you on here, because this has a lot to do with the volatility, tightening, consolidating, and when it's going to break out. So we're going to put up the Keltner channels, not that, and the Bollinger Bands, as well as this fib channel, and just it all kind of adds up. So actually, I forgot to show you, I believe, the events. I just want to go over this before we forget, or I forget. Next week, I think is going to be a pretty big week. That's going to line up with the breakout, because you have massive catalysts. You got PMI numbers. Just take a look for yourself. GDP numbers, jobless claims again, PCE numbers. So really big things next week. These will definitely bring in volatility. Hint, watch the VIX. Volatility spikes, you're going to see that go up. That's in that falling wedge. Watch the VIX. So for this, you can see these yellow bands. This is the Bollinger Band. Those yellow lines and the blue lines are the Keltner channel. When the Bollinger Bands are inside of the Keltner channel, this is signaling pretty much an imminent breakout, as well as the ADX. I'm going to explain this quick, but the Bollinger Bands are inside of the Keltner channels, and this is signaling tightening volatility, and it's waiting for a breakout. It just has to pick a direction, which side is going to be in control of this breakout, the bulls or the bears. And you just weigh the odds, you look at all the factors, and you just put the odds in your favor, and the odds are to the downside, of course. With everything we're looking at, Bitcoin, oil, Bitcoin with that correlation to the NASDAQ, oil inflationary environments, it has that inverse correlation. The dollar, of course, everything is lining up. So this is signaling, this is the 30-minute. I think this could take maybe 2 trading days for that breakout to get confirmed. Maybe as soon as tomorrow. But I'm going to show you the Elliott wave theory. I think we have finished the top, the rejection. There's so many things, so I gotta slow down. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels, so you can really see that when this happens, it does break out. Right here, went inside and just broke out instantly. Right here, you got some crazy volatility, crazy swings, broke out. But the big thing I'm going to show you, this also, I'll be able to show you some stuff with the ADX. So you can see here, it was really tightening up during this consolidation right before those the inflation numbers. You got that gigantic move down, and that had to do with this tightening up. But the ADX specifically, the ADX, this white line confirms a trend. It was kind of the confirmation that something is in a trend. When this white line is above that purple line at 20, this is the ADX. So when it's above it, it's in a confirmed trend. And you can see it was underneath this entire period of consolidation. It was up right into it, went down, and this is just when it's below 20, it's in either distribution or accumulation. That has to do with the Wyckoff theory, which I'm not big on that, but that just has to do with that, the distribution and accumulation of institutions. And you can see that on all time frames pretty much. You can see the structures, but anyways, you get back over 20, and what happens? You start that gigantic move down, and that's the ADX. So right now we are not in a confirmed trend, so you could be seeing some consolidation until this gets up to there. I'm not sure how long that would take, but I would like to see that get over 20. So you have this lining up for that breakout. Bollinger Bands inside the Keltner channel, the ADX still under 20, but you could start seeing that moving on the daily. I believe I explained this, maybe I didn't, but if you see this, the negative DI coming up, go over 20, that could be when you start seeing an accelerated drop. This thing will drop like a rock, just because no volume holding it up. This rally isn't supported. There's so many factors. I can't even list them all. So back to the shorter time frame. Let's see. So the Bollinger Bands got the Keltner channel, the ADX, CPI. So this is pretty interesting. I'm gonna go to the 1 hour quick and show you something. Right now the RSI is testing 50. It's right on that midline. If it goes under 50, it's going to be in that bearish control zone, and you're probably going to see this ADX turn up, that negative DI turn up, and the MACD not really showing too much. Maybe we're just going to wait on that test and see if it gets rejected and it goes lower into that negative territory. But interesting stuff is happening. It's in this consolidation phase before its next really violent move, its next big swing, which will be to the downside. I'm telling you that right now. Everything I'm looking at, we're going to look at Elliott wave theory now. I think it's not 100% sure or 100% certain, but I think we can start doing it to the downside. If not, that's fine. We can just readjust it, but we're going to do it. So I've been showing you this the past few days. This is wave 5, and I'll just show you the waves quick so you can really just kind of see it for yourself. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this might be wave 5, it might not be, or the top of it. It's definitely wave 5. We're just trying to figure out if it has finished or not. So what happened today, it was very interesting. So we're going to go back into the 30-minute. This test that happened today, I believe this was today or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So that test had to do with that fib measurement, and that's where we got rejected from. Also, interestingly enough, this rejection right here had to do with this. You hit it right on the nose and you got rejected. So this has to do with that smaller wave development inside of this wave. So it's really making sense at this point. And what would happen after this, we're going to go even closer. I think we can start charting the waves to the downside. Maybe not, but I'm going to just do that, and if this is not the top and we go a little higher than this, we'll just readjust. Not a problem at all. So what do you have here? This might be your wave 1, 2, 3. You know, you're gonna have to wait for this to break this low to get that confirmation, and I'll show you the target when that happens, but or I'll show you the target for when it breaks if that happens. So you have your retrace right here. You know, you got rejected in your golden pocket, and you start that move down. So, and I showed you that triangle we are probably in, which would give us that downside break. I showed you the Bollinger Bands inside the Keltner channel, which is gearing up for a spike in volatility and a breakout into that next wave. The Elliott wave shows you that you're in the fifth wave, probably ending it. I don't know how much else I can show you. I really don't. So what would happen here if you break this low and this is the high? You know, your next wave would be down to 421.50. So, and then whatever this is, you know, we'll just have to follow it as it goes. But you're getting that breakout soon. It's coming. Volatility. It's just gearing up, consolidating. And I explained to you, you know, you can go to the 30-minute. When the ADX is under 20, it's in an accumulation or distribution phase. What makes more sense to you? To me, it makes more sense to be in a distribution phase because, I mean, look at that move. You don't think people aren't selling up here? Like, think to yourself, do you really want to buy up here? No, you don't. I'm telling you that. I'm not a financial advisor. Just a recommendation, don't buy up here. Yeah, it's gearing up. It's getting ready. So, I don't think I have anything else to show you. I showed you more than enough, that's for sure. So today just more consolidation, I guess, but we're just gonna have to see how tomorrow goes. I would like to see red. I'm not really counting on it. Oil, you know, maybe this needs to cool off, so maybe more consolidation. I'm not sure what to expect for tomorrow, but I think next week it's likely to be red, and you have a lot of events. These are also significant events that could definitely do some damage. So I think next week is really the important week to be expecting a big move. As for tomorrow, I don't know. Just watch to see if it tests that. Actually, yeah, tomorrow that's what you want to be watching for. Let me put that back up. So this FIP channel, you're going to want to see what it does with this bottom line. If you break it, you pretty much lost your support, the big support. Maybe even this one as kind of a last resort to give it a little leeway. And even the shorter time frame, this is a line you'll want. You know, if you want something to watch tomorrow, I think you're gonna want to be watching this trend line. So there's a lot of lines in this region, but the upside, that gap, and if you did not make the high already, which I would be surprised, but it's possible. 434, I guess. Or that's not the right one. Whoops. This one. So the mid to high 430s. I would be astonished, but gotta leave it in the picture. So that's all I have for this video. The big trend lines to watch for tomorrow. I'm also gonna put this one up. So you're in a triangle. It's gonna break out. Bollinger Bands are inside the Keltner channel. Volatility is tightening up. I showed you everything you need to know. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. But next week is really the week I'm looking for the move to start. So that's where I'm gonna leave this video. If you watched the whole thing through, show it some love, give it a like and subscribe, and join the Discord. That's gonna be in the description. And peace out, guys.